Hi, so today I'm going to answer all your questions related to NIFT. I posted a video a few days back and I got a lot of questions, so I thought I'll make a video about it. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first question is, I'm in 11th and I'll give NIFT entrance exam in 2026 and prepare from some books like Aryan publications and any other ways, any ideas to study. Coaching classes are a bit expensive and like it's not 100% sure that you want to go to design. It will be a waste of money. Please tell me what to do. If you are not sure, then I would say you're going good, and even if you're sure that you want to go to the designer school, I think you can pretty much prepare at home. You don't need to join coaching classes. First, they are very expensive. Second, it's not a rocket science to clear entrance exam as long as you know the basics of, like, if you're preparing at home, you should know that what kind of question paper they ask at the examinations and what is the process. I would suggest you to take a good command on sketching. I did a coaching and it was not very helpful, but it was in many senses because I was very new and I didn't know anything about NIFT. I knew that I wanted to do design, but I didn't know about the examination process and everything. So they literally started the classes with just to do the straight lines. I was like, why did I pay money for just to do the straight lines? But it's so important that the practice of doing just straight lines, horizontal and vertical, when you go and you start sketching more and more and more, your lines kind of starts getting so fine. So keep doing the practice of the sketching, get a good knowledge of colors, learn about color wheel, do some product design like daily basis products, just keep them in front of you and then draw them and check the shadow and the perspective. Do the storyboard, poster design and the stamp card, the postcard designs and the memory drawing and all that stuff. Yeah, do practice sketching part every day if you're preparing from home. The other part you can literally get books and you can prepare from that, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, sketching is very important. Okay, so the second question is there a scope of job after NIFT, or should I learn everything by myself? Because fee is so high and they're not giving jobs. I'm going to start with the first. Is there a scope of job after NIFT? Getting jobs, at least from my experiences, was a bit complicated when I was in my college era. I don't know now, maybe it's getting better. I think you'll have to ask from the people who are immediate pass out or something. But I'm going to tell you from my experiences. When you are passing out from the college and there is this campus placement happening, it kind of gets a bit tough to get a job because there is not a lot of companies coming there. Second, whatever company they're coming, most of them, they don't pay a big salary colleges like medicals and IIT they pay, or IIM they. Compared to these institutes, getting the first job is slightly tough. Generally, it's not very high paying job, except your skills are on the next level and you are a really bright person in designing. And I'm gonna tell you, because I have spent a lot of time after NIFT and I have seen the phases, how people grow from just after the college and where people are from my batch. I was passed out many years back, and I would tell you in my batch in the textile design, I was the one who got the highest paid job, and it was for 26,000 rupees. So it was back then in 2013 or something, 2012. It was not very satisfying compared to the amount of money and fee you pay there. But I'll tell you something. If you are really passionate about it and if you love your job, if you love designing, there is no one is gonna stop you. And I see so many people who are amazing at their work. They are doing so great after 3 or 4 years. It takes some time for you to figure out what really interests you and what kind of genre you want to go. Once you figure out these things, it takes 3 years or 4 years or so. You kind of start getting better jobs. Also, you build your portfolio based on the industry, so that also matters. So people struggle in the beginning. It gets better by the time you reach 4 or 5 years of experience and you start getting better jobs, and then you go and check these companies like Myntra or companies like Amazon, Flipkart, all these e-commerce companies or big companies like fashion houses. You always see in the big post, most of them are NIFTians, so, and they're getting highly paid. So it's not that job is tough, but take some time for you to reach there. You won't have to worry about it in the beginning, but you'll have to build your career based on your interest. So the second part of this question is, should I learn everything by myself because fee is so high and they're not giving jobs? I agree with your point that getting jobs initially is a bit complicated, but I would still suggest you to join if you can afford, because it gives you a lot of structure. First of all, you get a lot of networking because there is always a preference when you pass out, and if you're a Niftian and you go to these companies where there is already a senior of yours working, they give you a preference. Also, another thing you get is like you get access to library. You're never gonna get those books because they're so expensive, so you can't really afford to buy after college, so go to the library. So yeah, you get access to the library, you get access to the machines and all that stuff. Point is, like, I would highly suggest you to go to the design school. If not particularly NIFT, you can go to NID or any other good design college, but it's important to go to design college to study design. Third question is, like, what are the job scopes in abroad after NIFT? Okay, not a lot of people go abroad when it comes to taking job just after the NIFT, but there are some people, they go. It depends. Like if you're really passionate about going abroad and doing job there, you will find your ways. Talking about the campus placements, you don't see a lot of companies from abroad hiring from the NIFT because there are so many design colleges outside, and their work ethics. I will tell you this thing, that I worked in India for so many years and I recently moved to Portugal, and when I meet professionals in design, the work ethics are like crazy good. In India, the office ethics, the work ethics overall is like so weak, and you see the difference. But the answer of your question is, like, if you're really passionate about it and you are really good at it, you'll find your own ways to find a job abroad. Also, a lot of people from my batch, they went to Dubai, they went to Singapore. So in these countries, they found work. So yeah, I mean, it's not very common that people go, but it's also not very tough to find a job abroad. Can you tell what textile design actually looks like? Okay, I study textile design and I can tell you things in detail. So textile design, when I joined, I had no idea. Okay, so my brother joined like a fashion design. I joined textiles, keeping in mind that we'll both work together in future, but that didn't happen. That's a different story. The first year was like common, everyone was studying together and everything. When I reached to second year, things have started getting serious. So the people who are in textile design, they are considered as labor because there is a lot of work in terms of like physical work. You'll have to learn like how to weave. So you go to these handlooms and you learn like the whole weaving process and everything, and it's tiring. Making a fabric from thread, from the yarn, is like, it takes a lot of time. You have to do those things, and you'll have to work on like these pattern and prints, and get the knowledge of fabrics, get the knowledge of Indian textiles, arts and crafts, and also get the knowledge of like craft around the world, but that's a very small part. These are the topics they cover in textile design. Is it literally like working as a laborers? I didn't feel it a lot personally, but it looks like that they work a lot. Before I joined, I was like, okay, with the fabric knowledge, I think they're gonna also tell me how to make clothes, but that's not the case. Personally, I didn't enjoy it a lot because I didn't know what I'm gonna get into. It was completely shock for me, and that's why now I'm not doing textile design. But yeah, I see like a lot of people from my batch, they're doing it, and it's kind of nice. If you're joining textile design now, I would suggest you to go into like deeper knowledge of Indian handicraft, Indian embroideries, prints, patterns, weavings, because now that the Indian handicraft is like blooming all over the world, like globally, there is a huge market in it. So as a textile designer, you can literally nail that side, and if you want to create a brand in future, it's easy to learn. Like you can take classes for like fashion and then combine your skills all together, and that's gonna be like really good for you guys. Want to know about textile design? I'm taking up textile design, so I want to know about it and how life moves there. Do we get a time for ourselves in a day, or it's just only work? Also about business, as I'm doing for textile, as our family business, isn't that okay? I think I already answered what textile design looks like. Do you get time for yourself, for your life apart from the work? Yes, there is plenty of time. You don't get a lot of time when it's a jury season. You don't get a lot of time when it's a submission time. But apart from that, you get like more than enough time for yourself to get involved in a different kind of activities, like there are different kind of groups like literature and the cultural group and all that stuff. So you can participate in these things, and you can also play sports and everything. So it's not very like a hardcore, but yeah, sometimes it gets like really intense when there is a examination time or submission time. So there is life, and good life. I've heard NIFT Gandhinagar's AD is best. Is it true? For placement and educational, yes, it's really good. Gandhinagar AD is like mainly specialized in jewelry design, and there is not a lot of colleges for jewelry design specifically. Plus, there is a huge demand of jewelry design, since we know that we live in a country where jewelry is like such a big part of our culture, like weddings and all that stuff, and also fine jewelries. So there is a huge demand. They get placed very nicely. It's like if you are in AD jewelry design, you're not gonna have a lot of trouble to find the job. So yeah, it's good. I got NIFT FD. Please make a video about fashion design course. Okay, my brother was in NIFT FD, and I was not like the FD fashion design student, so I don't know a lot, and also I don't know what specifically you want to know. But fashion design is like more, I used to see my brother making learning patterns, learning the history of fashion, these draping classes, and also when they're about to graduate, they make their collection and then they do the fashion show. That's pretty much I know, because I don't know a lot in detail, and also I don't know what you exactly want to know. Yeah, if you have any specific question, you can ask me in the comment section, so I can ask my brother and maybe, to give you the information. Okay, moving on to next. Hi, may I know jewelry designing is best or fashion designing? Completely depends on your passion. Getting jobs in design truly depends on how passionate you are. If you're not good at designing, I am telling you, you're gonna get really hard time getting a job. And if you are good at designing, no one is gonna stop you. So of course there is gray area that you're gonna get a very mediocre job and everything, but it's a struggle. If you are really passionate about jewelry design, just go for that. If you're passionate about fashion design, go for that. But don't get into like, okay, there is a good career in it, so I will take this design. But if you're not enjoying it, then there is no point of taking that department. So I would suggest you to ask yourself, and whatever makes you more excited, whatever you see that you can do like the rest of your life and you'll never get bored, pick that one. A random question: is NIFT open or working on weekends in case anyone wants to use the library or play sports or something? When I was in college, yes, I think as far as I remember that they used to open the library on Saturdays until like lunch hours. After that they used to close, and on Sundays they used to close it like completely. I know about the library. I was not into sports, so I don't know, but I have seen people like playing sports, like doing basketball and all that kind of activities during the weekdays. So yeah, now if they changed it, I don't know, but that was the case in my NIFT era. What softwares do you guys use in NIFT? And the NIFT provides the software for you to use in your PC. Like mostly you get to use like Photoshop, Illustrator, and all these basic softwares, right? Apart from that, like for my batch, they provided this dongle kind of device where they used to teach this like pattern making. There was a specific class, so they used to provide these dongles which you'll have to keep and then submit after the class, and they didn't provide you to keep it for yourself because it was very expensive. I don't know about like jewelry or accessory design, but I'm talking about like my department, what happened. But yes, they give you access to these forecast websites like WGSN, where I kind of miss to have the access to WGSN because it's like it's crazy. Like you get to know a lot of fashion forecasts, like graphics forecast, like everything related to design. You get to know like what's gonna happen like in next year. Or we used to use it a lot in making mood boards, taking references for design. So yeah, that you get access, and you can literally use it from your laptop, you can use it from your home computer, desktop, from anywhere, and once you leave the college they take it away. So that's pretty much you get like in terms of softwares or websites. Can you elaborate more on the portfolio? What exactly is it and what can I add into it? Okay, this is a very good question. I remember in the last videos, if you haven't watched the video, I'll put it somewhere here. Okay, in the last video I said that portfolio is such an important part if you are a designer. Okay, there are these two parts of the portfolio. Okay, so once you are a student, you make portfolio of your work which they give you like assignments. So for example, they gave you an assignment and you completed your assignment and becomes the part of your portfolio. portfolio. I'll give you a very small example. There was a weaving module in my class, and the woven like of samples of like fabrics, and it became part of our portfolio. But when you go and seek for the jobs, you'll have to get things done in a completely different way. So this student portfolio, it's something which works for like during your college times, like whenever jury is happening, you're showing your portfolio and everything. Like portfolio is like your assignments. Sometimes like student portfolio works when you go for the campus placement, but sometimes it doesn't work. I would suggest you to make a portfolio based on your interest. For example, if you're a fashion design student, you want to join a certain company and you really want to join, you have to create your own portfolio in terms of like make a mood board and create some like sample designs which goes with the organization or company you're going to apply. And it helps you in a way that they see that this is something which is matching their company profile, and they give more preference to you than the other person who has like a completely different genre of portfolio. So I'll give you another example. I want to join this kids wear company, okay, and they have this very off-whitish white, like very neutral shades of aesthetic, and there are two people they are applying for the job. One has like a portfolio filled with like a lot of bright colors and everything, and the other guy who has portfolio like very neutral shades and everything. So the company is gonna give more preference to the person who has a very similar taste. That's like very understood. If you have a portfolio which has like a lot of colors and everything, but as a designer you are capable of doing a lot of work, but sometimes companies are like, they see like this, so you'll have to show your skills, right? And if you don't have the neutral shade of portfolio, so what you can do is like make like a 2-3 mood boards, or you know, in the same line of the company, and create your own designs. Yes, you don't have to design it physically because they don't care if you can stitch or not. Yes, you don't have to show like the pattern or something because they don't really care, because they have pattern masters and everything. Yeah, you can design like a thing which goes with that company whenever you're going to apply, and I myself have done that. So I was in textiles and I wanted to apply for the graphics. The company I was applying for, they used to have like a very abstract graphics. So I had no portfolio, and I created like 4 or 5 samples of the graphics which were matching their aesthetic, and I got the job without even working in the similar kind of industry. That's the best part of designing, you know. Also, I saw this video, it randomly came to my feed, like how to make your portfolio. I will link it down somewhere. I think it's a really nice video for you guys to watch if you want to know like how to develop your portfolio for the companies. I have one more question. You are a NIFTian, so what you want before getting NIFT, and what are you doing after NIFT? Please tell me, because I'm gonna take admission NIFT. Okay, as I told you before taking NIFT, I wanted to take fashion design, and my brother and I, they both got like cleared at the same time. So he took fashion design and I took textile design, thinking that we're gonna work together, but it didn't happen because he got for the further studies, and then I lost interest in textile design because after entering the college, I didn't really find that it's gonna interest me in the long run. So I decided to shift. I did my first job as a textile designer for like 4 months. And in those 4 months, I was like, okay, this is not for me. So I moved to graphic design. And yeah, since then I'm doing graphic design. So that's another thing. A lot of people, they graduate from the fashion design, from the accessory, from textile design, from different kind of things, but it's not necessary that they're gonna end up doing the job in the same department. I've seen like a lot of people, they're doing different kind of jobs in different kind of designing section. Like I graduated in textile, but I'm not doing textile anymore, but if I want to, I can do anytime. So that's the best part of design. Like, if you know the design process, you can pretty much do anything. Okay, I think it was the last question. This video is getting too long. So if you have any other question, if you have any other doubt, just write it down in the comment section, and maybe I'll make a part 2 of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.